Still trying to get myself into those common law courts so I can burn those son of a bitches for what they did to me.
I love it.
What, KL here, and he's good, and he's supposed to call me later, so I'm going to have him on as a guest, so maybe even as early as next week. This guy is, I'm impressed every time I hear him speak and every time I hear anything with him, so.
Yeah, I was impressed with Mr. Lentz's observance of common law. What I found is sort of a pattern. I found that most of the courts on the East Coast, most of the courts in the upper states of the East Coast, Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, I think, Massachusetts, or some of them, the common law is very easy to get into. The states in the middle of the United States, the common law is almost unheard of. As far as I can tell, I mean, Washington State, California, you can get into it. Washington, you can get into it. Arizona, you can get into it. I can't see anybody in the middle of the United States who's getting into common law. They're getting burned. Everybody's getting burned here.
I haven't heard too many people getting into common law courts in the state of Washington where I live. Most of them are governed by the UCC.
Okay.
And Admiralty law.
Sorry about that. I didn't actually see the titlings for the common law courts of Washington. I just knew of the people that were, well, redeeming themselves up there.
Well, what's happening, I think, more than anything else, is people are finally challenging the courts and forcing them back into a common law mode. But most of the judges, unfortunately, previous lawyers, trained in our liberal colleges and members of the bar, they're pre-programmed. And if you mention the Constitution or common law in most of these courts, and they'll laugh you out of the court.
Yeah, They've been laughed. I've been laughed at every one. I've been condemned for not sitting down. I was in prison for 7 months in solitary confinement because I questioned the court. I'm not kidding you.
Good Lord. What state are you in?
What?
I didn't hear. Somebody talked over you.
Yeah, I'm here. It's just called over here. The reason why they laugh at you over the court, were you the prosecutor? Were you the party?
Not according to them, I wasn't.
Okay, well then there's nothing on file with your name on it stating that you're the prosecutor and you're demanding, you're invoking your 9th Amendment right to move a common law court of record. And what they're going to do, they're going to rely upon the contract and the rules of the case that's before them. And if the contract, the rules, and the statutes that are before them has no provisions in there about using the Bible or the Constitution in your defense, they're going to laugh you out of court because you're not moving in a common law court. You're not the prosecutor.
Right.
The prosecutor makes the rules, not you.
That's right.
So when you prosecute, when you make the rules, you tell the court, this is a common law court of record. This will abide by the court of record. This will operate under the 9th Amendment, 6th, 7th Amendment. It will. If it's criminal, it's 6th. If it's civil, it's 7th.
I just caught something on my paperwork 2 days ago. I went into a preliminary hearing for disturbing the peace call where I got into it with a friend of mine's neighbors, and they came out of their house and started threatening us and stuff, and yelling at us and stuff. So I went over and started questioning them as to what they thought damages were. And they got more and more irate the closer I got to them. And when I leaned on the front of the one guy's truck, it was on a public street, mind you. He started going irate and telling me he was going to kill me and stuff. So I moved closer towards him and asked him what he considered damages and stuff. And I got on the sidewalk and stuff. And they had called the police and everything. But at some point, I just turned around and walked off. The police tried to drive up at that time, and they talked to us for about an hour or so. There's 5, 6 people show up, the 4 people from the other house, and then me and my buddy. And meanwhile, I was talking, the 4th person shows up. It's the old guy that lives there, and he shows up with a tire iron, jumps out of his truck, and rushes one of the cops. They tackle him from behind and arrest him for something, I don't know, assault from the officer with a weapon or something. Then they come up and they tell me that they want to give me a ticket for trespassing. I said, well, I'm not running your ticket. It's that simple.
You said
what? They needed me to identify myself, and I wouldn't identify myself.
You said what?
I wouldn't identify myself. I gave them my name, but I wouldn't give them an identification card showing that I'm within the state.
What I'm trying to say is, you folks have to start to learn this, man. When they give you anything, any piece of paper, man, that's an instant dollar instant way to make some instant fast cash if you know how to process that bill, that order that they're giving you. Just ask them, oh wow,
Yeah.
sir,
If I know how to process it. And
It's it.
if the Secretary of State would allow me to secure my citizenship, I would have a better opportunity at screwing the courts out of the bonds and securities that they take out on my claim.
it's way too
That's
tough.
not the point. The point is, I want to burn these people for taking action against me that they swear they wouldn't take.
All you had to do is somebody comes up to you and they ask you for ID. You say, oh, lovely, I haven't been in a while. That's great. Sir, can I take your order? Is that an order that you're demanding me to perform? Oh, yes, lovely. Okay, and then you hand them it. It's just like going into a waitress at Denny's or McDonald's drive-thru.
I understand.
McDonald's,
I understand that. I understand all that.
McDonald's can't make McDonald's can't make money.
Okay. There's a huge good bullying network out here. Okay. When you get the shit beat out of you by these police, they cover each other's backs.
You're not going to get.
They don't go out of their way to do the right thing. Okay. So when you get pulled over and an officer asks you what your address is, and you tell him it's on the license, and he can write it down if he wants, he tells you he's going to arrest you for not giving you your address, for not giving him your address. What do you think that's going to happen? 7 months later, they kick you out of jail 6 weeks after they drop the charges because nobody even bothered to tell you that they dropped the charges.
If the cop orders me to give me my shirt, I'll give him my shirt, my shoes, my pants, whatever he wants. He's going to place an order with me. Thank God. You know this guy's got cash somewhere. You're going to process your bill. You're going to say, wow, that's a lovely order. I love taking them.
In the meantime, after the fact, I want to take him into court and get my money from him.
But
in the meantime, I want to take him into court and get my money. After the fact, before I charge him for the orders he wants to give me, that's fine. Okay?
Are you the man?
Puts a gun in my face and tells me that I'm going to have to accept his orders? Okay, I've got no problem with that. No problem. But after the fact, I want to burn him.
You said you refused to cooperate with him. You refused to engage in commerce. You refused to intercourse with him, right? You said you weren't going to...
I did not refuse. I gave him the identification card and all that. I went through the process of identifying myself in that particular instance. These are two different instances. This other instance,